stuff behind us. Y'all go ahead and come this way. Come on, come on, come on. All right. So real quick, so today's video, like it says in the title, we're finally getting a chance to install Blue's turbo coolant lines. Yes, finally, and I can be able to go ahead and drive this truck on how it's meant to be driven with a little bit of assurance, even though technically they can be plugged. I still want that assurance knowing that these turbos are going to be cooled under these extreme temperatures that this exhaust puts through these turbos. So let's go ahead and dig on in. Pan right to left here. So I just got this bucket real quick. Just go ahead and add all the coolant once I dump the lower radiator hose. This is each set of the Banjo bolts. I'll go ahead and make sure all the parts description are linked down below in the description. This is going to be for right side, left side. We got a couple T's. We have some 1/8 MNPT 3/8 fuel line fittings. We got this fitting here, which is basically 1/8 mil and 2 1/8 females. We got a GlowShift coolant. It's a 52 millimeter hose separator. That way I can go ahead and you can add the sensor, or in this case, I'll be adding the T to add these lines when the heat goes back into the block. And we got our hoses. You might ask why this big hose here. And that's because I will be redoing my heater hoses in and out. These are gonna be my feed that are gonna be coming in from the actual intake portion, or where it gets cooled, and then down into, you'll see into this guy here momentarily, where it's gonna feed. You can go ahead and pick up all these things right down below in the description. Click on any one of those links. It'll take you right over to Amazon. Put this in your cart and go ahead and check out. All right, so real quick, so I went ahead and got this adapter here. As I'm going to take out my sensor, and I'm going to put in this one here, so to kind of go down right in that separator right here. I'm going to put back in the sensor, and then I'll have the entrance of the feed tubes or the coolant lines here. That'll be coming out on each side of the turbo here, and then this guy is similar to what I have up here on the coolant coming in. So this is going to be down here for the coolant coming out. So I'll go ahead and dump the lower radiator hose, go ahead and I'll splice it. And this guy is basically going to go right in between there. And we'll get the fittings and the hoses all hooked up. And that's going to be pretty much it. So we'll go ahead and put these Banjo bolts in the sides here on the turbos, so we can get started. So this next picture that I go ahead and embed into this video is kind of how this engine block circulates with this coolant. You know, basically coming in, going out through the intake, going through the block, coming back into the radiator, and so forth, doing this whole cycle. So look right here. All right, so while I got that draining here, we're going to go ahead and start working on these banjo bolts here. So I went ahead and just put stuff in here to keep these crazy dirt daubers from trying to build their nests. All right, so again, all these parts down in the description. This is for each set, so you have one for each side of the turbo. You got copper washers for each, and yeah, it's gonna be exciting, guys. So let's get this together. All right, so it's gonna be the actual bolt here, the copper washer, the banjo bolt copper washer, and we're gonna put it in each side just like that, where they're aimed at the bottom, so I get the hose ran on each side. So what you want to make sure when we get these installed on each side here is that you're going to devote one side for coolant coming in, one side for the coolant to come out. Same for this one. So that's what we got to make sure, is that the coolant coming in, let's say I'm going to choose this side right here, right? This hose, when I have it coming down and to feed into this line, teed up over to this side, we got to make sure that it's the same side. And in the exit, we're going to do the exact opposite. So we'll go from here. I'm going to come over with the line, have it teed. It's going to come up to here, to this side, right? And then shoot right down and splice into there. So we got that continuous circulation of coolant, making sure it keeps all these extreme temperatures down on these turbos. So that's what it looks like. All right, still draining down there. All right, so just like the other side here, we're going to go ahead and add this other side. I went ahead and prefab these up, ready to go. This is just a mock-up right now. I'm kind of getting everything put together just so I can take it back off and, you know, make sure that I got some thread locker stuff in here to, or I say thread tape, or what they call some silicone sealant stuff here. So we're just gonna do that to that side. And the reason I'm doing the mock-up is because once I get this screwed all the way in, it's gonna give me an idea how I can mock up these hoses. As you see, I still have tons of room there for travel. So let's go ahead and get it mocked up, and I'll show you what I'm doing with these hoses. All right, so I got the upper radiator hose off, along with the bottom one there, as you can kind of see right there. So it's all drained. Went ahead and took out the old sensor, which is this for my fans. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the sensor. Put this here with this, like that. And then the sensor is going to go up top, and then I'm going to splice in right here on this side. This is going to be the, I guess you would call the heat exit of the coolant that will be supplying out of these turbos and going back into the radiator here, all the way down to be cooled, coming out there. After it's cooled, go back into the block, and so forth. So let's go ahead and get this all screwed down. Okay, so this part is now built here and put back. This is the ground for the fan. Of course, this is the sensor for when it kicks onto the relay. So this is the part here that I'll be teeing off, and once I get the put the upper hose here to the neck, and then to the radiator here. This is going to go over and come out and tee on one side of the turbo, then run over here on the other side of the turbo. And then we'll go ahead and I'll do each side of the other side, which will be going down where it is cool again. All right, guys, so I went ahead and after I finished the top hose here, I went ahead and wanted to rerun my heater hoses, and also did the one here to the water pump. So you might want to go ahead and ask Operation RV, why are you using this silicone regular rubber? Well, from all the research that I found, this is food grade. It's good for like laboratories, computers, all that good stuff. From temperatures from 100 up to 500 degrees. And it doesn't crack. And honestly, this will probably last a lot longer than this entire truck will, to be quite honest. But I went ahead and got the in and the out right now on the heater. So what I wanted to show you kind of do what I'm doing here to get my measurement on this last portion is I just kind of have it ran from the back here, and that's what I'm aiming to. So what I'll probably do is go ahead and cut it there. And then later on, I will go back and redo my upper and lower radiator hose in the same silicone, because what I want is, I want the transparent look of the antifreeze, which I use the green 50/50 or concentrate, however you want to do it, but mine's the green universal. So I want that as an added ambiance feel to my engine bay. When I have my hood propped open, I'll have a light in here. This one here, actually, go ahead and give you guys a quick example. Hit my switch. There we go. So yeah, when I turn on my switch here, you're gonna be able to see all my antifreeze through all of my tubing, everything from the lower radiator hose to my upper water pump, my heater hoses, and my turbos. So that's my turbo line, which I'll be doing next. So all this is gonna have a green glow during these truck shows. So let's go ahead and get the rest of this finished and hooked up on this water pump in, and then we'll go ahead and run the lines to the turbos. All right, here we go. We got the lower hose off. This is the top part that goes to the pump. That's the lower that goes to the radiator. We're gonna sandwich this sensor coupler right in there, and I gotta cut out from here to here out. So this kind of sits seamless in there. And so what I did is I went ahead and put this barb, because once the coolant goes to the radiator, it comes in to this lower tube, and it's supposed to come out back into the block there. Then what we're gonna do is allow it to come back out here and tee off to go to each side of the turbo to get these bad boys cooled off and the heat pretty much dissipated, and get this whole cycle again. All right, guys, we got it all built here. This is what it's gonna look like. And let's go ahead and go down and get it all installed. All right, guys, it's all installed here. So you're looking at the front of the engine here. There's the crank. Here's the new hose here with our new sensor coupler that we'll be adding into the turbo coolant lines. All right, folks, we got it all routed up in here. Yes. So what I opted in doing is on the right-hand side of the turbo, that's going to be, I guess you would call it the exit of the heat to go back into here where it'll tee off. Come back in the filler neck right here. Come back in the radiator. Get cooled off. Same with this side. It'll exit out here. Go back off into my T, into my upper radiator hose. Come back down in the radiator. Get all nice and cooled off. And let me see if I can get a light down here. And I cannot. So anyways, so here's the exits. There's the exit of this one, all right here. It goes down like this. It'll tee right here, go straight down into the new filler housing that we see right there. You'll see the tubing there. And we'll come all the way over here and do the same thing here on this banjo bolt. There's no clamps. Thought I had more clamps. It's nighttime, so this is a wrap for this evening. Tomorrow first thing, I'm gonna go ahead and put these clamps on here and get it cranked up, show you all this fluid, and we're now cooled, turbocharged GT3582 T3 T4 turbos. Finally, at last. All right, it's gonna be a huge different setting when we have the hood open on display. All right, guys, so next day here, I went ahead and added these additional parts. Wanted to make sure you guys got everything that I have done. I opted out of switching the plastic coolant tees that I showed you in the beginning of the video to these brass ones here. Those are the part numbers. You can get them at your O'Reilly's or local auto parts store. This is the box of 10 clamps that I needed. And that's basically 2 here, 3 here, 2 more here, and 3 more there. So that was your whole box of 10. We got some good old green Gatorade that we're about to fill her up, guys. Got some distilled water just in case we need to add more to top it off. We definitely got water still on the block here. And we're about to fire this up and see some neon green action. All right, guys. What I'll be adding here is the universal full strength. And basically this just needs to be diluted with distilled water. And don't use hose water. There's a lot of minerals deposits in the ground, and you don't want that going through your block. So make sure of that. All right, so here we go. Slow and steady wins the race. I won't bore you guys with this, and I'll come back here momentarily. All right, go ahead and do your distilled water here. And I'm not going to bore you guys with this footage, so let's start. Yeah. One of the turbos there. All around and there's heater core. Not showing any leaks. Return. Hasn't come on yet, they just need going in. Circulating. I'll stay tuned once it gets burnt. Alright guys, this brings it to it. We got a wrap on this. We got the coolant going in here, coming out. You can see, let me grab some light here. Radiator, not solid green, but let's go ahead and flush her out. There's no leaks, so I think what this is going to do, guys, is add a huge element of glue here. Super exciting. I'll go ahead and turn on my light. 1 second here. Thanks for tuning back in. Again, you can find all the parts there down in the description. Go ahead and click on whatever you see here. It'll take you right over to Amazon to go ahead and get that purchase. So you can add some added flair here on your engine bay for those next truck shows. Hey guys, until next time,